Now, friend, this year, there's something unique that doesn't happen often, and that is that the second night of Pesach is Motzei Shabbat. Of course, in Israel, it isn't. They only have one Seder. Now, it does happen that even the first night can be Motzei Shabbat, and that it happens also not often, that Erev Pesach is Shabbat, and the first Seder is Motzei Shabbat. Now, there's a number of differences, and I want to point out one of them. A very significant difference that you're going to say in the Haggadah tomorrow, not tonight, but tomorrow night. And that is, at the end of the whole telling the story, the Seder of Magid, we raise the cup, and I'm going to just read the translation. We say, Baruch Atah Hashem, this is now the second cup. Blessed are you, Hashem, our Lord, Melech Olam, sovereign of the universe, in English, who redeemed us and redeemed our ancestors from Egypt and enabled us to, this is very important, everybody should focus on this, and enabled us to reach this night to eat matzah and mortar. So may Hashem, Elokeinu, and the God of our ancestors enable us to reach other holidays and Yomim Tovim in peace, happy in the building of your city, Jerusalem, and joyful in your service. There, may we partake of the Passover offerings. We shall then sing unto you a new song of praise for our redemption and salvation. Baruch Atah Hashem, Gol Yisrael, blessed are you, Hashem, Redeemer of Israel. And then you make the bracha be'prei agofen and drink the second cup, and now you're going to wash your hands. Hamoitzi, that's the end of the story of Pesach. Now pay attention to Haggadah as follows. There's a brackets here. And I said like this. The English did not give the detail that's in the Hebrew, and I want to tell you what it says. The Hebrew says like this. Tonight you're going to say, V'noichal sham min azvochim v'min apsochim. And we will eat then, what did we just say? That so too may you enable us to reach Aliyah and Mitovim and happy rejoicing in the building of your city, Yerushalayim, and they will partake of, tonight we say, what we partake of? The Zvachim and the Pesachim. What do these two words mean? Zevach is a general term for offerings. Pesach refers to the unique Korban Pesach. Note the order. Then we will participate of the Zevach and the Pesach. What are we referring to specifically here? So every Yom Tov, friends, every Yom Tov, the 3 Yom Tovim that a Jew is obligated to make a pilgrimage to Yerushalayim, which is Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, he was obligated to bring offerings in the Beis HaMikdash. One of them was completely consumed on the altar. It's called Eilas Re'iyah. It's an offering because to fulfill the mitzvah to see God and be seen by God. Then there's also Shalmei Chagiga, festive offerings, which a person could bring as much as he wanted. And they were called festive offerings because the meat was divided 3 ways, partially on the altar, the kohen that brought it on your behalf, and you took it home and ate it with your family. Additionally, on Pesach, in a regular year, not when Pesach, like the second day, when Pesach is Shabbos. So here's the thing, friends. The Torah says that the Paschal lamb should be eaten when you're full already, not out of hunger. Why? To show a simple reason that you're eating it for the mitzvah, not because you're hungry. Therefore, usually like this, if it wasn't Shabbos, so the festive offering would also be brought on Erev Pesach, and that night people would eat first meat from the festive offering, and then they would eat meat from the Korban Pesach. Why? To ensure that it's eaten al hasoiva. I'm already satisfied. I don't need to eat any more meat. I fulfilled that desire, and I'm eating it for the mitzvah. That's why our afikomen, the same thing. The afikomen is eaten at the end of the meal when we're already, because afikomen is replacement of the Korban Pesach. And it's eaten in the meal we're satisfied. Just by the way, we shouldn't be to the point where you can't eat, you're going to throw up. But you have to leave a little bit of room, but not hungry. A person should not be hungry eating the afikomen And he won't because he already ate matzah, he ate maror, he ate his meal. So if it wouldn't be Shabbos, they would bring and eat first the festive offering, and then they'd eat the Korban Pesach. And that's the order here, normally. And we will eat then from the Zvachim and from the Pesachim. The Zvachim means the offerings that are brought as festival offerings. They're called Shalmei Chagiga. And then we will eat the Korban Pesach. But tomorrow night, we're going to change the order. Because if it's Shabbos, if it's bringing an offering, friends, shchita, it's offered on, it's burnt. We only bring offerings on Shabbos that the Torah says you have to bring. Now, this we're only bringing in order to be able to eat the Korban Pesach with already not out of hunger. Plus, you have ate really the whole Pesach to bring the festive offerings. It doesn't have to be on Erev Pesach. Therefore, when Erev Pesach is Shabbos, they did not bring the Zvachim. They didn't. They brought it after the next days of Pesach. So that's why tomorrow night we'll change the order. We will eat of the Korban Pesach Friday night. We'll eat of the Korban Pesach, and afterwards, the next day, they'll bring the festive offerings, because since it's Shabbos, Shabbos only allows us to bring the Korban Pesach. It doesn't allow us, even though there's a reason for it, to bring the holiday offerings, since you can bring them the whole Pesach. Follow? In summary. So tomorrow, you look at the Haggadah, you'll see there, pay attention, that tomorrow night we'll change the order. Tonight we say we will eat of the festive offerings and the Korban Pesach. And tomorrow night we're going to say Korban Pesach and the festive offerings, because they would not bring the festive offerings when on Shabbos, because Shabbos doesn't allow it. It's not absolutely critical. And you'll bring the festive offerings throughout the 7 days of Pesach. The only offering that's brought on Shabbos, which is mandated no matter what, is the Paschal Lamb. Clear? No. That's the simple halach. Now we're going to explain this, the profound spiritual meaning of this. What's the reason? We said before, that what's the reason that we want to eat? What does it come out? It comes out like this, that normally, if we can, we want to eat the Korban Pesach once we're full already. So if it's not Shabbos, we'll eat our festive meat. If it is Shabbos, you can't bring that Korban. So it comes out that if the Seder is Motzei Shabbos, we're not so concerned with eating the Korban Pesach out of hunger. It's okay. That's the net result. You're not going to have any other meat before. You're only going to eat in Korban Pesach. So we're going to explain the spiritual significance of this. So first we have to explain the deeper meaning of eating the Korban Pesach when we are already full. Simple meaning is to show that it's from mitzvah. Here's the deeper meaning. Pesach is the birth of the Jewish people. Pesach is all about radical transformation. Birth is the most radical thing that could happen to a person. He wasn't, and now he is. He's born. Pesach is Hashem's choice of the Jewish people. We all know, we've spoken about, it was very radical. There was the 49th level of impurity, almost about to sink to the 50th level, which is the point of no return. And Hashem whisked our ancestors out, and he says, you're mine. I'll never let you fall to the 50th level again, which we discussed in the past. It's about radical change. Radical, from slaves in Egypt to freedom. There could be nothing more radical than that, from slavery to freedom. So here's the thing, friends. There's two general approaches to Yiddishkeit. There's the logical one. The logical one. Why be observant? Why keep Shabbos? Why do mitzvot? Simple answer, the logical answer, and the natural answer, because it's very satisfying. It's satisfying. It's a beautiful life. Intellectually, emotionally, I'd have to tell you, anybody that is observant, as an outsider, it looks very difficult. It's a whole lot of obligations. But everybody knows who starts to observe, it's like, how did I live without this? How did I live without Shabbat? How did I live without? You look at family life, you just look what's happening out there in the world, and you see the gift that you have. This is the most satisfying, beautiful life to live on a physiological level, emotional level, and so intellectually. The depth of Torah, the depth of the Talmud, of Hasidus, of philosophy. It's very rich and very deep. It's satisfying. Here we're told that what? The Korban Pesach should be eaten when you're already satisfied. Not eating it because you're hungry. You're supposed to eat it because God commanded. What's the message here? The message of Pesach is, we get tonight, and I'm going to tell you how this happens. Tonight, this power from Hashem to be able to transcend my agenda and my desire, because he satisfies me, and serve Hashem because he wants, because it's the truth. That's the meaning of eating the Paschal Korban Pesach. When we are satisfied, we don't need to eat the meat and eat it nonetheless. That means doing the mitzvah even when I don't have the need for it. I'm satisfied. In simple language, it means like this. Everybody has their threshold. How far am I going to go in Yiddish? It makes sense to me. I'm committed. But so far, this satisfies me. This is enough. Look at the next guy. He's doing much less than me. I'm way ahead. We have all the justifications. And it's really beautiful and satisfying. Pesach says, the Korban Pesach says, what happened? God jumped over. God made this leap. God says, I'm leaping, you leap. On this day, Hashem opens up all of the restrictions. That's why we open our door. We open the door on Pesach night because all the gates of heaven are open, meaning to say that all of the boundaries, the door, this far, no further, are all open. Mitzrayim means a limit. All the limits are imploded, including the limit of my own limit. I'm doing it all. But I'm doing it all just based on what satisfies me, what makes sense, what's beautiful. And I stop here. Comes Pesach, and the culmination is the KORBAN, and represented by the Afikomen. And we're leaping. You're satisfied. Now still do. Do that which you don't need to justify your life or to bring you fulfillment. Do it because I'm asking. Do it because not of any personal agenda, but because Hashem is asking from us. That's the radical leap. Now, normally, here's the thing. I'm just a selfish guy. I just really do it because you want. I got to have a kickback. It's got to make sense to me. It's got to be satisfying. Tell me there's a reward. So Pesach gives that koyach. Hashem throws open all the doors and takes us out of Mitzrayim, and he just takes us out. It's an incredible thing. In simple language, that the Seder night on Pesach, we all have the ability to transcend ourselves, to go beyond ourselves, even our spiritual agendas, our good agendas, and serve God truly, selflessly, altruistically, like the matzah, which is completely humble and flat, and do the mitzvah even when I don't need to. I'm fine without it. I'm religious enough. I'm justified. My life is beautiful. And still connect and do. That's the message in general of Pesach. So that's the deeper meaning of why the Korban Pesach has to be eaten when we're already satisfied. Because the whole message of Pesach is go out of your own Mitzrayim. Well, not just our negative Mitzrayims, our negative sinful acts. For sure, we should break out of those limitations. The big news is even to break out of the limitations of my spirituality. Again, which satisfies, which makes sense. So now what happens is tomorrow night, so that's the reason why on a regular, tonight we're going to say, they used to eat first the festive, the Korban Shlomim, which is a meal which is meant to enjoy with family, and then so that you're already full and satisfied, and then at the end you're going to eat the Korban Pesach. You don't eat it because you're satisfied, for the mitzvah, and we explained the deep message of that. But tomorrow night, which comes after Shabbos, they don't bring the Korban Shlomim, the Zvachim on Shabbos. You bring it throughout Pesach, So it comes out then that tomorrow night we're going to eat the korban Pesach, and like we haven't had meat before in the course of the meal, and it's okay to be hungry for it. Wait a minute, didn't we just say the whole point is to go beyond my hunger, my need, to do it because this is what you want, and to push my boundaries. And yet tomorrow night, you follow, it's going to be out of some. We're not so concerned. You can be hungry to eat it. There's Vachim you bring after Shabbos and Sunday, Monday, for you had 7 days to bring it. Answer. Shabbos is a foretaste of what? Of Yemoiseh Mashiach, or Mashiach will come. It's a foretaste of Messianic era. Messianic era, Yemoiseh Mashiach is the day Yom Shekol Shabbos. Now here's the thing, friends. So Yemoiseh Mashiach is the perfect era where the service of God is the way it ultimately should be, and not that it happens then. We've got to taste of the foods before Shabbos. We have to already begin now to serve God on that level. That's what Chassidus is. It's a foretaste and preparation, the bridge for Mashiach's coming, and therefore as follows. The classic message of Pesach is, never mind what you want. You're satisfied, you're good, you don't need this. But you already surveyor, you'll serve, you'll go out of your limits, you'll break out of your shackles, and you'll give and you'll do because Hashem wants. And you don't need it. On all levels, tzedakah beyond your need, davening, every mitzvah, just push beyond. However, the deepest level is even deeper than that. Hashem says, I want you to enjoy. I want you to enjoy. And I want you to understand. He listen very carefully. But why does he enjoy and understand? Not because if I didn't enjoy and understand that I wouldn't do it, but because you want me to understand. You want me to enjoy. So we always speak about in a relationship with a marriage. The first level of marriage is, like standard Pesach, is sacrifice. You think you're a good husband, and as a good husband, I mean, this is as much as I do and devoted. This is as attentive as I'm going to be. This is as much. No. If you're going to be a proper husband, you got to go beyond where you feel justified as you're doing. She's asking you to do it. That's it. Yeah, that's the standard. You're satisfied. This is enough. But devotion, truly connecting, go beyond self-transcendence. That's what Pesach is all about. Be humble like the matzah. A higher level is not that you're surrendering. Even what you enjoy, you're enjoying it. But why you're enjoying it, and why you're enjoying the relationship? Because it's fulfilling for me. Because it's you. It's only fulfilling for me because it's you. And if it wouldn't be you, it doesn't fulfill me. To restate that, a relationship means you've got to connect on every level. It can't be just a surrender. That's the foundation. But it's got to be a full engagement. So Shabbos, what's Shabbos? Tomorrow night, Shabbos. Shabbos is a very simple question. Especially if you learn Chassidus. A person's supposed to, during the week, exercise self-restraint and not indulge in food. So that food is an example. On Shabbos, it's a mitzvah to get the best food and the best. What happened all of a sudden now we can indulge? The point is no. Why are we enjoying Shabbos food? Because you want us to celebrate this day. That's a whole different kind of enjoyment. That itself is a selfless enjoyment. It's all based on not it fulfills me, I'm enjoying, but because you want. So therefore tomorrow night, since tomorrow night is what? It's Shabbos, it's going to be v'noichal shom ben apsochim ben azvachim. We're going to eat the korban Pesach when we're a little bit hungry. It's okay. We're not going to eat the meat before. Why? Because Shabbos lifts us to a level where I am enjoying this, but I'm enjoying this because that's what you want. That itself is predicated on a complete surrender. So it's both. It's the korban Pesach, which means a complete jump. And let's just remember the story. The story of the korban Pesach was sacrifice. This explains to me why. One of the reasons the korban Pesach had to be roasted It had to be roasted on an open fire, which is why we don't eat roast meat, because we don't want to make it look like we're eating Korban Pesach. Why? Because the Egyptians worship the lamb, and Hashem is saying, take the lamb and make it a public consumption, because you put it inside a pot, you could disguise what it is. You have it on the open spit, everybody sees it, can smell it. So the whole taking the Korban Pesach is sacrifice. It's going beyond it. They're risking their lives. They're doing this in the presence of people with their former taskmasters for hundreds of years, and they're eating publicly their God, that they worship. The whole thing is sacrifice. What's going to be tomorrow night, we build from tonight the enjoyment of that. Is it sacrifice or is it enjoyment? What is it? What is it? So to restate it all, my sacrifice for you is not a martyr or a hero. I'm enjoying that because that's what you want. And I'm enjoying every part of my relationship with you because it's you and that's your desire from me. And that's the incredible level tomorrow night. That tomorrow night we can eat the Korban Pesach theoretically, as it were, even without having even a little bit hungry, because now it's not just transcending self, but it's engaging self. I understand, I enjoy, but that's not the starting point. My enjoyment is because that's what you want from me. That's a whole different level of enjoyment. And therefore, if it wouldn't be you, I wouldn't enjoy it. It's only with you, and it's only you. All right, so that's one of the deep meanings of this whole change here in our text. And we have to remember, and this is all possible because tonight and tomorrow night, Hashem throws open all the doors. It's not a joke. Sitting at the Seder, and we prepare for the Seder, and we have to know, no matter what level I was till now, wherever I'm holding, there can be, if I allow myself to be lifted to the radical change my whole life in one thing. Tonight, that radical change is going to be kind of a sacrifice. Okay, I don't need to, I'm not satisfied. You're asking me, okay, I'll do it. Tomorrow night, even that radical change will be with joy and with pleasure. Knowing the pleasure that you have. Knowing the pleasure that you have in me doing it. So that's a real Yetzias Mitzrayim. So, final word, friends. We have to go through all the physical motions, eat the matzah and the maror, no question about it. But this is really all, at its core, it's a spiritual Yetzias Mitzrayim that we need to experience. Going out of our own personal Egypts. And the matzah is so integral. Matzah is humility, it doesn't rise. As long as life revolves around me and I justify me, there's no freedom. I'm stuck with me, stuck, finished, not going anywhere. There has to be matzah that gets flat. It's a receptacle. Okay, what do you want? We've got to go put my agenda aside and start asking God what he wants. So the first night is, okay, I'll do it because you want. Break out of my boundary. Second night is, I'll even enjoy that. I'll love it. It's going to be satisfying. Why is it satisfying? Because I know the joy that you have in me doing so. I feel your pleasure in me. So even going beyond myself is satisfying. That's incredible. Even the sacrifice is satisfying. Not because I'm a hero, because of the pleasure you have in me. Because this is what you want. So may Hashem help us, friends. We have a true personal exodus. A personal Yetzias Mitzrayim. And I just want to remind you again, we spoke about last week, and you have to convey this to everybody at the table, that the essence of what we're celebrating tonight is the birth of the Jewish people, that a Jew is forever, a Yid is forever. No Jew can sing to the 50th level. That's guaranteed. What's our task? It's there. We have one task. Embrace this godly spark or ignore it temporarily. We can't ignore it forever because it's who we are. Complete the process of liberation. Reveal our neshama. How? By breaking all the mitzrayims, all the boundaries we put in front of our soul. It's enough. This is not for me. Whatever the excuses we gave. Imploding all of them. First night, difficult, do it. Second night, you'll enjoy that. But the process is the breaking of boundaries. That is a true Yetzias Mitzrayim. A true exodus. May Hashem grant this all, true freedom of all worries, that the Rebbe would say. Cheros, freedom from all things that worry, that of pressures, of things that constrain a Jew physically or spiritually. I just want to conclude with this. It's important to tell you. what I'm sharing with you is something the Rebbe said in 1951. It was the same as this year. It was the second Pesach after he was the Rebbe. And at the end, when he said the end, like I told you, that when it comes Motzei Shabbos, then even the sacrifice is something that we enjoy because you want, because Hashem desires a relationship with us, and there should be fulfilling for us as well. But because he wants, he stopped in the middle. And he's talking the whole time about sacrifice and self-transcendence, and turned around. There's an amazing thing here. He paused, turned the people present, and gave them brachas. Things are flowing. The children, panasa, the people have children for years, and the brachas are flowing. So by us reading it now, we're invoking the same thing. That whatever everybody needs, nachas from children and grandchildren, panasa, may it be in abundance for all of us. Have a wonderful and inspiring Pesach, everybody.
Oh man, thank you.
What time is the Siyum, Rabbi?
Pardon?
Thank you.
The Siyum, what time is
After davening, right after davening.
I'll be there soon.
Lucy, the host guest?
9 in my line, Basaf.
I'm just going to stop there.